Welcome everyone to today's community question roundup with Ramesh Gulati and myself, Ryan. I'm the CEO and founder of Upkeep. And welcome also to the Maintenance Community Podcast, which is the podcast to learn all things about maintenance and reliability. Today, we're going to be reviewing some questions submitted by our members within our maintenance community Slack group. We're going to hear some insights from a maintenance expert in resident and the Reliability Sherpa himself, Ramesh Gulati. Just as a reminder for everyone, the maintenance community Slack group is an awesome place for people within maintenance and reliability to ask questions and learn from over 5,000 professionals all around the world. And if you haven't already, please join us at upkeep.org/Slack, where you can join our group and again, learn from all the different professionals all around the world. Today, Ramesh and I are really excited to do a deep dive into the real questions asked by our community members within our Slack group. And one thing that I personally love the most is that topics span from high-level questions to on-the-ground problem solving. And today I'm super excited to dig into these real-life questions with you, Ramesh. If you're ready, I am, and we can get started.
Yes, Ryan, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, question number one came from Martins. He asked us, and he asked you actually, Ramesh, what's the difference between wrench time and mean time to repair? How are they related? How are they different? What's better? What's worse? What's the right one to prioritize?
Wrench time is usually what worker is doing with the tools in his or her hands. I mean, working on the machine, whatever they are repairing, whatever. So that does not include a time getting the parts or reading instructions, talking some other things. It's only pure time he or she spend on the machine repairing it. Okay, that's wrench time. Also, it's called tool time. As I said earlier, it does not take consideration of travel time, gathering equipment, cleaning up, all those administrative kind of things. Okay, meantime to repair, when machine is down, and then you send a request through your CMMS system or saying, hey, by call, hey, this machine is down. There's just some time lag before somebody comes to repair. Okay? When somebody comes start repair, that's the start of the repair time. And till repair is finished, it's called mean time to repair, which is average time between repair. There's another term we should be aware, mean downtime. Mean downtime is when your machine goes down and it's get recorded at this time, 1:35 this afternoon machine went down. Now it doesn't care what time machine the repairman comes to start that time, and then when get machine repaired and ready to operate that time. In fact, most of CMMS system will capture that data, mean downtime. So there are three terms: wrench time, mean time to repair, MDT. Now, which one? Hey, wrench time is difficult to capture. We should, but we cannot usually do this done by time studies. MDT are important. We can capture the data, but also we need to capture really what are those delay times were. Those are very important to know because those are inefficiencies. How are you going to make it more efficient finding those delays?
Yeah.
We should be getting close to wrench time, but wrench time is again pure hands-on time. And then there are some break time, other things you have to edit. So if you can get MTTR data, that'll be great. But most of the time we get MDT from our CMMS system. When repair started, when repair finished, or ready to operate. That's the difference between these terms.
Yeah. Do you have any perspective or I don't know, advice on what's the best metric to use to capture time to repair? Is it wrench time? Is it downtime? Or is it just whatever metric that has the highest reliability of data, or is it the easiest one to capture? What any thoughts around that?
Easiest is MDT because that's what most of CMMS will capture.
Right.
When work order is written, at that time, it's okay. Now you have to really do, it's good to know MTTR. Okay. Then you can find out what those delays are.
Yeah.
I think so. First is find MDT, which is easy to do, and then go try to find MTTR, which is finding those delays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then you can say, okay, this is a pure repair time, and remainings are those are waste or waiting time. How we can eliminate those again by doing a better planning and scheduling, you can do some of those things. So.
All right, good question, good question. So Vinod asked, while conducting a preventive maintenance optimization study, should we focus on what has failed in the past or what might fail in the future? So it's kind of like doing a past study or a future study.
I've been asked this question many times when I teach class. Again, depends upon what you mean by PM optimization. PM optimization is the most misused or misunderstood term in our industry. It depends on what you mean by PM optimization. To some, I'm going to take this task out, use ultrasonic, or I'm going to use this camera. Using some of those tools, to them is a PM optimization. Okay. So then there is extreme cases also. To some, PM optimization go all the way doing FMEA and finding where these possible mode of failures are, every failure mode, then coming up by a good PM task. Although those tasks could be done by a new technology, condition-based technology or something, or putting some sensor, all kind of things. So depends what you define as a PM optimization. It could be just updating some information under your PM, or all the way to doing a kind of RCM, FMEA RCM. So it depends what you want to do, how you want to trade it.
I think what I hear from you, Ramesh, is kind of like if you're going to do a PM optimization, it should 100% be focused on equipment that you have some suspicion about in the future.
Yeah.
And if there's no action to be taken from it, then there's two questions, like, why are you wasting your time doing a PM optimization? Then two is like, should you even be doing PMs on it if you're not worried about it in the future?
You could be, you could say, okay, you're going to look today, you look past failures and see how you get eliminate those past failure, put in a PM task, those things. Okay. But you can go one step further, say, okay, what task I can do without doing PMs, I mean, with a ultrasonic or infrared camera, some new technology. Okay. That's also PM optimization. Then you can say, okay, have I missed anything in my PMs which give me a problem? Which you're looking at failure modes. Okay. So you have to go in a sequence of how far you want to go.
All right. Next question from Motaba. He asked, what's the most important way to protect your physical assets? Ooh, this is a
That's what when I saw this question, I said, oh, how am I going to answer?
Insurance.
Well, yeah, really, let me answer first this way. Are those equipments outside? So they have protection by weather, or he's talking about misuse by operators? If it's being misused by operator or somebody, you better educate, start training them properly. I have seen myself. Oh, one time I was working in a big, large foundry. We had a layer of overhead cranes, and during lunchtime or whenever they got these guys will race, they're long bay, quarter mile long, and they will race it, kind of thing. And they will do a few things which were not, they were misused. And finally, we were able to kind of get the data and show the management. And what they did was, they said, okay, these operators will be hired by maintenance. They will train them, and then they will loan back to the operation to do it. So there's a lot of misuse also in operator. And if equipment is outside, you have to take care of weather-wise, you have to take care of corrosion problems, all those kind of things, or heart problems, whatever. So this kind of lot of things. I don't know what he really wants. And also, I think, as you said, hey, it could be insurance too. Nowadays, if you have a good asset management program in your place, good PMs, your insurance rate will go down.
Yeah.
The new, if you have all private companies have insurance on their plans, government don't, but private companies have it, and that's cost a lot of money. And if you don't have a good PM program, don't have good CMMS system where you're taking care of your asset properly, your insurance rate will go up and your cost will go up. But
Yeah.
if you can show them that you have a great program, then your insurance rate will go down. And you're talking large company, millions of dollars, you know. So.
Yep, we're starting to see more and more of that actually. It's this like proof of audit around, the PMs that you do and the ways and procedures that you have around your
That's right.
equipment,
Yeah.
how you treat it and how you operate it.
Yeah. Because I was talking to one of, I think, insurance company, and he said, hey, he was one time auditor also for insurance company, and they will go and look the plan, and they'll look their junkyard where they don't, or go in the back there, they try to cannibalize a lot of the equipment they are not taking care of. So they go and watch those things. Yeah, and they look in the maintenance program. So what they're doing, what kind of a strategy do you have, asset management program, do you have it certified or not, those kind of things. If you're doing it, hey, then your rate will be down.
All right. And obviously good procedures will
Yes.
also help too. All right, so Chikazi asked, we're considering using a 30 kV Caterpillar generator as a standby power supply for a vocational training center. Any ideas for preventive maintenance programs that could be implemented to ensure the generator will be available during a power outage? So I think this is actually a really good question. This is really, really core to a lot of operations and having this like backup power supply.
Think about that asset, not a standby, you know, not emergency generator. Think is an asset
Yeah.
and develop a program, PM program like a regular equipment. Okay. Only thing is you have to think, on a regular equipment, you'd see its operation is so many hours in a month. Here you say, hey, operation maybe only 10 hours a month or something. Okay. Then also put on in your operational thing, hey, run it on occasionally. Give you my example. Company we used to work, we had a large facility, and each facility has its own emergency generator. We were testing. Before they start a test, once they start a test, power has to be on, because if power is failed, there's a lot of damage could happen to this
Yeah.
test article. Okay. So generate this emergency power was important. So at the start of the test, the start of this production run, whatever you have, they have to make sure this generator is working. So as a part of procedure, they have to run this emergency generator for 10 minutes and let it run, do it, and then stop it. And then in case they need it, then they can come back and run it. Okay. Also, we had a PM procedure on that on a regular basis. Hey, we test those things out. We do the PM on those. So he has to come up a PM program and using FMEA and then do it. So.
Yeah, I actually really like this question because I think every single important critical operation has a standby power supply. And I think it's a really good question to always ask yourself, like, are we doing enough to test whether or not it's going to work in the event of a, failure, an event of a power outage?
Think about data centers. All
Yeah.
data center has a emergency generator sitting there
Yeah.
outside. Now, I hope they do have a PM program on those, or
Yeah.
they're testing them on a regular basis. Otherwise, they will be in trouble. In fact, I'm part of a data center study. We are trying to come up how to take care of data center better. So we have there. We said, yeah, there's emergency generator, which is important part of your whole structure or your hierarchy, and you have to have a PM program on that.
Yeah. All right, good question. Mohammed asked, what are the differences between leading and lagging indicators and KPIs? I think, man, we could go on and on about this one.
That's right. But again, fundamentally, or really is simply, Leading indicators are a process indicators. Okay, they lead to the results, where lagging indicators are the results.
And maybe the only one thing that I'll add here is like both are important. In my eyes, what's also even more important is like what you record versus what you reward. And those are really
Yep.
important to me. You record leading, you reward lagging. And
Yeah.
you know, the minute we start like rewarding leading, that's when you start getting into this mode of just like, this is how many hours that I've worked today. This is how many PMs that I've completed without looking at the outcomes of the work that we're doing and asking ourselves
Sure.
why. All right, Baba also asked, what are some practical steps to set up a reliability roadmap?
It depends upon where you are in your journey. So you have to start looking into where you are, what kind of your people awareness, training, education, having right tools, having a right PMs, all those things that you have to come up with how you're going to get there. Again, I don't know where you are, so I think you best is read something, take my book and read it, and you will see there's a roadmaps are given there. Say how you're going to get to excellence. That's the way we try to explain, from reactive to proactive, to go to more predictive, to go to excellence.
All right. Next question here is it came from Martins. He also asked, what are the best ways maintenance costs can be reduced without breaking the bank or retrenching?
Depends where you are. You know, Again, how much your money spending, I don't know. It depends what kind of failures are happening. So you start looking PM procedures. Are
Yeah.
they effective? Are you doing planning and scheduling? Are your parts available? Are you losing a lot of money there? Do you have a good storeroom operation? Or how do your people, have you trained them? Are they properly educated? Are they certified? That's another thing you have to start looking. You may have trained them, but they didn't get that grasp, that knowledge. How you going to make sure they are grasping that knowledge by some kind of certificate? So there's a lot of things to be done.
Yeah. What I hear from that, Ramesh, is, one, you have to better understand like where your biggest costs are. Two, you can benchmark what excellence looks like and figure out where, your costs are the highest. And then you wind up, optimizing that and you prioritize that. Generally,
Sure.
costs are come in two different categories. Most often it's people and time, and then it's like parts and inventory and everything that you use. All right. Rahul asked, or how has the pandemic changed asset monitoring and maintenance? In your perspective, what are some positives and negative impacts caused by COVID on the entire industry?
It accelerated the improvements. Some of things, especially improvements from IoT, Industry 4.0 perspective. There are a lot of smart sensors we are putting on our machines. That's giving us some data. And a lot of robotics application has coming. Uh, those are kind of things are happening where people don't have to go there, but they can get the information and do it. Okay, so that has accelerated a lot. But also, same time, there's a people who don't have understanding of this new technology. We have to educate them also. So they are, especially the older guys, which they don't want to work anymore because they don't understand. They are not that technical savvy, and that's a challenge. How we can get them to some of the things. Safety has become very important,
Yeah.
and that was a good thing happened in my mind.
Yeah.
Before, people were not careful about safety, especially PPE. I know how hard it was. I'm talking about 15 years ago, we started implementing safety seriously. We started, hey, you have to have a hard hat, you have to have a glasses when you go, you have to have a shoes. And boy, it was a challenge
Yeah.
because before they were not, because it was change. It took us a couple of years to really implement that. But this pandemic has really taught us how important PPE. So everybody knows that, hey, wearing a mask, having gloves, these are very, very important things.
Yeah.
So I think some of the lessons learned or we learned a lot of things good things came out of this pandemic, which we agree.
I'm going to throw out one more like negative that
Sure.
I've seen too, is really been the attrition rates though within a lot of businesses. We've seen a lot of businesses, have high attrition rates with their employees. We've also seen a lack of labor to come in and fill these new positions. And that was largely due to COVID and, some other stuff, politics, government, whatever. But we have seen that as a big struggle for a lot of our customers, trying to fill unfilled positions. And it's really forcing a lot of businesses to do the same amount or even sometimes more with less people. And I
That's right.
think that's one of the big accelerants towards driving better technologies and driving better efficiencies. Ramesh, thank you so much for taking the time to answer all of our community members' questions. I personally learned a ton from today's session. I hope our listeners did as well. If any of our listeners would like to receive answers to their questions, join our Slack group at upkeep.org. You can also receive live answers from our fellow members and hear from Ramesh, the Reliability Sherpa himself.
Oh boy.
Again, my name is Ryan. I'm the CEO and founder of Upkeep. I'm super excited to chat with you next time. Thanks again, Ramesh.
Thank you, Ryan. Talk to you guys.